on to the other crisis in Benue State, and we want to look at some of the solutions. For the state governments, they signed a law that is trying to ban open grazing, but the sad thing is they gave them 14 days ultimatum, and within that period, a whole lot of people were killed. So, and then security experts there, the people who are in charge there, said that if they break this rule, it's as if they are daring them and then they are going to take action. So we know that Benue State is the food basket of the nation, and say that over 7,000 farmers have died since 2007. That is quite alarming, and it perhaps makes sense why we have this sort of food insecurity issue in Nigeria. So what is your take on this when it comes to the law that they have signed the law is in place, but the 14 days ultimatum that they've given to these elders to move out, ranch, or else face the law?
For a state like Benue, and for someone that actually worked in the IDP camps in Benue, the law is something that should actually be followed. But the problem in Nigeria, as always, is not that we don't have laws. We have these laws. The issue has been implementation. Even at the point or at the time where the laws were being signed, there were still a lot of herders moving around with their cattle. So sometimes it's a question of, if it's Meitiala has leadership in Benue, is it possible that they can be pushed to actually enlighten the fellow herders, or before you even come into the state, you go through them and then enlighten them about these laws and all that? Because, and another thing you see in the state is a lot of herders come with already like an agenda, hatred already. That is why it's so easy for people to come. You are moving with your cattle, and then they enter somebody's farm. The person is telling you, push your cattle to me. It's not fight. It's the person's right because he has invested in his farm. If the person doesn't hate you, he just wants you to move away with your cattle, not to enter into this farm. You can eat the grass, it's allowed. But when instead you attack such persons with machetes, you rape their wives or their children on the farm, then that means it's completely a departure from the scenario. It's no longer that you want your cattle to actually graze, it's that you want to actually take over their investment. So there are two basically different things. So they are having leader. There's Meitiala in the states. They have leadership. As of 2018, the 1st of January 2018, that they were attacked. Benue State was attacked by Meitiala, and they actually came out to say that they are responsible. Till date, the federal government, nobody, including just like the other speaker spoke about, the brigadier and all those persons, commander and all that of the battalion, I think 72 battalion Benue State, they couldn't arrest them till date. That means it's possible they are also having a hand in some of these things, allowing it to even function. Why is it that from then till now, nobody has been arrested for murdering people in their farms till date? If they're actually working, they should be doing something about it. Some time back, Ghana, actually one of the military, somebody that was a warlord that was actually being murdered. He was murdered by the military. He actually came out publicly, had some interviews on channels to say that part of the monies they collect as even part of the militia is to even bribe some of these military agencies to allow them to go in some areas. They collect money in millions, and some of it is to give to some of these persons. That's why they're able to maneuver themselves, get into communities and all that. So that means the military themselves have a hand. If not, they can. They work and live around these areas. They are familiar with the terrain in Benue State. Why is it that they have been unable to stop these people from doing this? And why is it that from 2015 till date, we have people in IDP camps from then till now, and they cannot return? So the military in the state, what is their work? If they cannot go back and secure the areas where these persons can return. And then, just like I said earlier, the federal government on its own, you make laws, you are failing to implement it, and even the federal government tried many times to actually fight against its implementation of that very law. So you are looking at what does it's people entering into certain positions just to push their own personal interests. That is where habitats like the House of Assembly and all the national human rights, they are not even talking. We have people that have been in camp, thousands of people are in IDP camps from 2015 till date. And you are quick to push 50 billion, 50 trillion to military there and there. What have they been doing? You have not even been able to allocate some monies to actually provide for these people. These people are farmers. Okay. If they don't farm, where are they feeding?
All right, let's take the view of Chief Joe, the security advisor to Benue Governor on this particular topic. Now that the ultimatum has been given, the law has been in place for a while now, and how effective do you think that these laws would be in ensuring that this issue of farmer-elder clashes gets reduced drastically in Benue State?
Yeah, good evening once again. There's so much echo. I can barely hear your questions. But if I get you clear, you are asking me about the law and how they're going to implement it. I couldn't get your question very well.
Yeah, the question I asked was, how effective do you think this law would be after the ultimatum period has lapsed? Do you see it ensuring that this issue of farmer-elder clashes in Benue State gets reduced to the barest minimum?
Oh, sure. My sister, the issue of the influx in Benue State is such that we need to keep away sentiments. We need to keep away politics and face the reality. There were influx of cattle in Benue State, and the government of Benue State, in a very transparent and honest mood, issued an ultimatum for the herders to leave. Now, for the first 3 days, we recorded an exodus of cattle leaving Benue State. And then suddenly, we started seeing some political fingers around the system. An ultimatum has been issued. The ultimatum has elapsed. They have clearly given marching orders to the law enforcement agents to enforce the anti-open grazing and ranching law. It is a law of the state. It cannot be compromised. Unfortunately, some persons that want to cause crisis in the state are manipulating and making the thing to become more complicated. Just day before yesterday, a letter purported to have come from the Mietiela Cattle Haure, praising the governor of Benue State, was pasted and was everywhere on the internet. I'm very sure you saw it. I challenge you to code a number on that letter, because I did. I never know any place where my principal, the governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Hyacinth Yomalia, made such statement that warranted that letter. And the person that owns that number came in clear terms that they know nothing about that letter. So there are persons that want to cause confusion, that want to increase the heat in the polity. It's unacceptable. The law will play its parts. The military in Benue State has commenced deployment on various areas. In Buruku, there's a detachment of people in Buruku. There are some of them in Apa. There are some of them in Agatu. There are more policemen. They are deployed to see that this is effective. And so, what we are asking is for people not to take law into their hands. Especially when you see cattle, don't go attacking them. It's not your duty to do this. There are people who are saddled with this responsibility, and we hold them responsible if they fail to do their duty. So when you go to attack cattle, you go to kill cattle, you are provoking people, and sometimes there could be a reprisal. And those people, those cattle rearers who have been asked to also leave, they should remember that the law prohibiting open grazing is not targeted against the Fulani herdsmen. It's targeted against any herder that will not want to ranch. There are people, indigenous people, Benue indigenes, that have cattle that are ranching. If they fail to ranch, the law will be caught up against them. I intend to also go into the business, if I have money, to ranch. You listen to the Attorney General of the state and made some statements. He is also a farmer. He has cattle he ranched. And so anyone that wants to do cattle business in Benue State should ranch their cattle. If you fail to ranch your cattle, then the law will cut up against you. We had a meeting with the leaders of the Mietiala Breeders Association of Nigeria, MAGBA.